Hola, my name is Angélica Negrón, and I'm a composer, performer, and educator. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm thrilled to be working with the Santa Rosa Symphony on two very exciting projects. One is a performance of a piece that I wrote in 2015 titled Me He Perdido. It is inspired by a verse from a poem from one of my favorite poets, the Argentinian Oliverio Girondo. And I wrote this piece as a kind of celebration and acknowledgement and embracing of the uncertainty of the process of creating something. I was experiencing a lot of writer's block, which happens to me often. And I thought, why don't I write something about not knowing where I'm going, not knowing what this piece is supposed to be or what this piece wants to say, and just embrace the mystery and the uncertainty and the process and see where that leads me. You'll also hear some sounds from my kitchen, some pots and pans that I recorded and then I processed electronically. And so if you hear something familiar that reminds you of your kitchen, it's those sounds. They're being played live by a performer and a MIDI keyboard, and that's combined with the mechanical percussion and with the orchestra to create this atmospheric and immersive sense of embracing the unknown and finding beauty in that space. The other project that I'm really excited about is my First Symphony, which will be premiered next year in 2023. And the First Symphony is a co-commission between the Eugene Symphony and the Santa Rosa Symphony, and I'm really thankful for including me in this wonderful initiative. I have been thinking a lot about what does it mean for someone like me to write a symphony in 2022. And 2021, 2022, I started thinking about ideas last year. And I've written a lot of pieces for orchestra, but I've never thought of writing a symphony until this opportunity came along. It took me a little while to realize that a symphony, even though it has a lot of historical baggage and it has all these connotations and just all this history to it, that if I'm creating it, it could really be anything I want. So for this one, I am taking inspiration from the immensity of things that I feel are vast and just kind of also enigmatic in a way that I can't quite put into words. Landscapes mostly, so skies, mountains, oceans, and landscapes and nature that for me, when I'm in them, not only feel huge, but that also give me a sense of comfort and home. When I write about skies, I'm thinking mostly about the skies that I see in Puerto Rico. When I write about the oceans, I'm thinking of the waves and the beaches and the island as well. So connecting those really, really open and vast spaces to specific personal memories and my experiences as someone that has been living outside of the place that I call home for a little while now. I was also really interested in my First Symphony in seeing what would happen when I take all the pressures that I think of the word symphony, and what if I, instead of putting them on my shoulders when I'm composing and thinking like, oh, what is a symphony gonna sound like? And a symphony needs to develop in this way, and a symphony needs to have these elements, and a symphony needs to do all these things, right? Checklist in terms of form, of structure, of musical elements, development. What if I actually have fun with that and turn it upside down? So for me, that meant playing with abstracting a lot of the things that make up a symphony for me. And I kept thinking of what would happen, for example, if one big gesture that I think of when I think of symphonies is the chord, right? The dun. it's like as an arrival point or as a departure point or as a transition. But thinking about that big chord tutti with everyone playing, what happens if I abstract that chord from its context in which it's used in symphonies and then make up a movement in which it is all there is that chord, and it shifts in view and in color, but it's not going to take you someplace else. The chord is the main element. So I was really interested in the abstraction of kind of emblematic symphonic gestures. The chord, the passing of something, as in a fugue, of a gesture or of a melody or a rhythm, through different sections of the orchestra and different instruments, and seeing what happens when I just take the essence of that and see what it means to me, rather than try to write what I think people expect from a symphony. I'm really excited about how it's coming along, and I can't wait to share my first symphony with you all in Santa Rosa. I hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening.